lead by Puan Farida herself, and Unit Perkhidmatan Kemudahan Sokongan, lead by Cik Siti Fatimah, and Unit Perkhidmatan Instrumentasi, lead by Puan Sarah Ibrahim. And under each of the unit, we have Makmal Genomic. Under the unit Makmal Pendidikan, we have Makmal Genomic, Makmal Proteomic, Makmal Metabolomics, Makmal Biotek Tumbuhan, Makmal Microbiology, and Makmal Bioinformatics. And for unit Perkhidmatan Kemudahan Sokongan, we have the facilities RT-PC2, Makmal Culture Tissue or Tissue Culture facilities or laboratory. We have research plot. We have Makmal Kimia Analysis, Makmal 1 dan 2, and also store and pelupusan. And for unit Perkhidmatan Instrumentasi, we have facilities like LCTOF, LCMS, HPLC. I think some of the instrument has been introduced by Professor Salorata Ai this morning. So all the Makmal is having a person in charge or our pegawai or kaki tangan helping in look after each of the Makmal. If you can see, for example, Makmal Genomic, we have having a Puan Farida and Fauzi. And I would like you to pay attention on all the pegawai and kaki tangan in the Inbiosis because they are really important and you want to know them, especially for those joining. Welcome to Inbiosis and welcome to know our pegawai and also kaki tangan here, so that as they are very important person, they may help you smoothen your experiment, manage smoothen your experiment design and also your works in Inbiosis. So we have Angie Fauzi and Puan Farida for Makmal Genomic. We have Puan Munina and Jet Rohana in Makmal Proteomic. We have Angel Shami and also Puan Hazila in Metabolomics Lab. So for Makmal Biotek Tumbuhan, which currently, as Prof. Soronatai have mentioned today, the lab is under renovation now for a year. So the lab should be ready by end of 2023. So for Makmal Microbiology, we have Puan Farida, and Makmal Bioinformatics, we have Puan Intan. So for RT-PC2 facilities, we have Cik Siti and also Puan Farida herself look after the facilities. And we have Puan Sarah and Encik Afiq for Makmal Kimia Analysis 1 and 2. And we have Puan Munila helping in Makmal Tissue Culture. For the research plot, we have Encik Fauzi, Encik Afiq, and so also Encik Farizan helping taking care of the research plot. For those students, apart from this building, a main building for Inbiosis, we have Makmal Biotek Tumbuhan and also a research plot. I think this morning our Pengarah have also introduced. So for store, autoclave, and pelupusan, for the waste management, then we have Encik Fauzi, Encik Afiq, Cik Rohana, and also Puan Hazila. So Puan Sarah, very important person here also, taking care of the LCMS, Encik Shami for HPLC. For GCMS, we have Encik Afiq and also Encik Shami, Fish Dryer, Encik Afiq, and as well as GCFIT. For computer workstation, we have Puan Intan helping. For protein purification using ACTA purifying system, we have Puan Munila. And also for qPCR, we have Puan Farida. So I have generally introduce briefly our pegawai and kaki tangan who are very important in operation of our all the laboratory in Inbiosis. And I hope you take your time to know them. They are all very nice and very helpful. So for the bagian operasi penyelenggaraan, which lead by Puan Rohaslina, is very important to taking care of the instruments, facilities, or buildings of Inbiosis. If there are anything having problem, either it's a building, instruments, Puan Rina will help us with the help of Encephalitis and also Encephalitis. So I hope you are clear now. We're having a strong team over here to support you for your postgraduate research in Inbiosis. So you have registered as a student in Inbiosis. You may also want to register yourself as a user for the laboratory in Inbiosis. So in Inbiosis, we have several. When you start get into the lab, you will meet many students or many users. They could be postgraduate student, or they may be a final year project student or intern, or which is having a short attachment or industry training, or we also having some student from other university may attach to Inbiosis. So you see many different kind of users in the laboratory. So for most of the user, which is student, postgraduate students, or research assistant or postdoc, so you want to register before you come into the Inbiosis to use the lab. So you have to fill in a form so that as you are going to be a user in the Inbiosis. So there are the detail over here where so you are responsible by the fellow, which is your your supervisor, whoever that supervising you, and also there are action that the PLC laboratory will take over here. So for students, you fill in the form. For the fellow, research fellow, and also whoever that's supervising the user. So you may want to introduce and also get a place before the student or the user come into the lab. So how to get a space? We refer to the person in charge of the lab to know where is a available space. And the new students is advised to be attached with a senior student or experienced user in the lab so that to avoid any accident of not knowing some things. So it is very important, and we strongly encourage the user having the new user having someone supervising them in the lab. And you may also get a access card by referring to Inject Faros. So he will be kindly help you to get the access card. For person in charge in the lab, so we always update how many users in the lab. So we always aware how many students and how many users that situated or are currently active in each of the lab in Inbiosis. So the PIC will update the list. They will get your contact number because it is very important that you provide your contact number so that anything emergency that we can contact you, and you also can get a number from or contact from the PIC so that vice versa important information can be delivered on time. And the PIC also will share with you or tell you the rules and regulation in the lab. So for the students, so right before you start your experiment, you must do your induction course for the health and safety to train yourself to know the lab well and the rules and regulation, especially for those uh, uh, from bachelor to master, or for those master to PhD as well, even though you have some experience already in your previous lab. So there are rules and regulation may be different. So you may also, you must do the induction course over here to know our laboratory well. And you must follow the SOP that we have set up for our lab, and we have all the information that provided that you can access through our website. So you can get all this information. Later, I will introduce you where to get, and you must read it. And apart from doing the training, so there are other category like category 2. I'm not going to detail or each one of them, but for those new students, you are mainly category 1 and category 1 over here. So there are also a procedure when you finish your lab works in the lab. So I think Dr. Goh have shared with you also this morning that you need to fill in Porang Penamatan for your lab works when you are submitting your notice Sera thesis. So because we want to make sure all the user, after they have done their work in Inbiosis, they clean up the space, they make sure that whatever that they have left over is being cleaned, and the place will be then used by other user. If you don't do that, because then the lab will become very messy. And we also didn't know whether when we clean up or doing the gotong loyong should throw it away of the bottle that you left. So of course, there's a procedure for us also. If certain timeline, we will also clean up. So please make sure for those that current students who are going to finish, please remember about this as well. This is important. All right, we also have a category 3, Pengguna Service and Alatan. So which we only using certain facilities or maybe using service from Inbiosis. Like this morning, Prof, I have shared, we have facilities like LCMS, GCMS, which you also need to fill in a form and pay for the service, even though for Inbiosis user, you and me, we may have a discount rate, but yet we still have to pay for the service. There are forms available so that you can acquire the service over here. So we are also category 3 over here, user category 3 for all the magma, including me, myself, actually. Right. So I hope I give you a brief introduction that, especially for the new one, what you need to do and also the current students that reminding you that if you are going to finish, so you need to follow the SOP for when after you have done your work in the lab. So after that, you are allowed to work in the lab. So every day when you come to the lab, please scan a QR code over here, where if you record your attendance in the lab, and when you are out from the lab, please scan as well, so that it record that you are not in the lab. So I would like to emphasize this because this is very important information for us. When anything is accident is happen, for example, if any if it's fire, if the lab caught fire, and we want to know how many people, how many user actually came into the lab in that particular lab, then we would have the information. Otherwise, the bomber we may not know how many people that we need to search. So this is a crucial information for us, and I hope every one of you scan the QR code when you are in, and when you are out, please scan as well, because we have QR code with user in and never get out. So that is also confusing when incident happen, how we are going to trace these people. I hope this is clear to you. So I hope you share a similar concern like us, that attendance is really important. So since we are still in the endemic of COVID-19, the certain protocols still we need to follow, unlike before a pandemic era. So now we are advised to follow all the SOP that's set up by the KKM. So you can access this information in this Ministry of Health website, covid19.moh.gov.my. And over here, it gives you the detail. If you are not feeling well, what you need to do. If you are tested positive COVID-19, what you need to do. If you are a close contact, what you need to do, and so on. I do snapshot some information. So if you are not well or unwell, stay calm. And if you have symptoms, please do a RTK antigen test, self-test. If it's positive, you do not need to do a PCR, but stay in quarantine and refer to the COVID-19 case management protocol. You may need to report to the MIND Sejahtera. You are also encouraged to perform COVID-19 antigen test, self-test. If you are traveling, if you are visiting or your parents or families, or you are visiting other place, your relative. So please also try to do the self-test. Or if you are participating in activity with clouds, so please do the self-test. So this is encouraged. You can go to see more detail on that. So there are category 1 and 2A for the COVID-19 positive cases. And category 2B. So for 1 and 2A, which is asymptomatic or mild symptoms, you do not need to go to do the COVID-19 assessment centers, CA or CAC. So you quarantine at home and you report your health condition to through MySejahtera. And for category 2B and above, so you are high-risk groups such as senior citizens, aged more than 60 and above, or people with comorbidities, or pregnant women, and those who are partially or not vaccinated, so you are required to go to CAC. If symptoms worsen, please go to the CAC or the health facilities nearby. So in case this is you are positive and fall into this category. All right. For quarantine period for positive cases, you must quarantine for 7 days from the day you receive the positive test result, regardless of vaccination status. And it also provide you some info or help you how to quarantine, and also information for your family member or your member in the household. And there are also a test and release procedure. And so now COVID-19 positive cases have the option to end quarantine earlier if the RDK antigen test result on day 4 is negative. So the test can be done from health facilities near to your place, or the RDK antigen test can also be done day 5 or 6 for the purpose of early release. If you are tested negative, then you can release. However, if you tested positive, you must continue to day 7, and no further test or no other test needed for the completion of quarantine. So there are also info about close contact. So I hope we all aware about what is close contact now after a few years. So please follow the procedure and read up for this information. Yeah, I don't go to in detail. All right. To avoid again to caught the COVID-19 infection, please still try to avoid the crowded places or the place without a good airflow, or speak closely to each other. I think this is still something we try to avoid, and try to wash your hand or frequently, wear your mask possible, and also get some warning about getting a good habit for not spread the viruses. In Inbiosis, when you are tested positive, please report to the our Ketua Pentadbiran, Encik Zaili. Either you are students or pegawai or kaki tangan, we all report to the Encik Zaili, and you snapshot as well your quarantine period. For the student, please inform your supervisor and share your quarantine snapshot. There's a page from the MySejahtera, so snapshot and share with your supervisor and also Encik Zaili. So who is Encik Zaili? Ketua Pentadbiran Inbiosis, penolong pendaftar. Here is his email and also contact number. So Encik Zaili is helped by Puan Suzana, Encik Muhammad Shalin, and also Encik Muhammad Faiz. So please, if you are unfortunate get tested positive, please inform Encik Zaili. Yeah. All right. Any question for now? All good? Hello? Hello?
Good, Doctor.
Thank you, Liana. All right. So next, I would like to introduce about the induction course. So we are going to have a face-to-face induction course. We call Panggil Keselamatan Makmal Inbiosis 2023. So all the students are asked to join this Panggil for the morning section 9 to 12:30. So during this section, they are sharing from our pegawai and also kaki tangan about more details of procedures that you need to know when you are doing your experiment or using laboratory facilities in Inbiosis. So please join the Panggil Keselamatan Makmal, which will be held on 12 April, which is Wednesday. For the new student, apart from the morning section that you need to join together with all the current students and the users, not only the students, postgraduate students, yeah, for the morning section, for all the final year projects students, FYP, attachment, short attachment or long attachment intern, you must join this Panggil Keselamatan Makmal Inbiosis 2023. For the new students, this section from 1:30 to 4 p.m. Dedicated for only the new students. So you have demonstration for some essential equipments in the laboratory. So you must attend this induction course so that you know how to use at least this list of essential equipments in the Makmal. So for the new students, after you have attend the demonstration, the induction course, you will get the signature from the person in charge. So you have to show that you have attend the course, and after you attend, so you will be certified by the PIC. So only with this list of equipment that you have gone through the introduction, you will allowed to start working in the lab. Otherwise, you are not allowed. Yeah. So if you can see over here that there's a khusus induksi keselamatan makmal dalam talian. So there's an online as well version. So apart from the physical, and you also have to go through the online versions. So in the online version, I think for the current student, they all know about it. So inside we have it called Induksi Keselamatan Makmal ICAM Inbiosis. Inside this, we have a lot of important information that relevant to health and safety and your health and safety in the Makmal. So there are a series of modules in this online induksi keselamatan makmal online induction course. For example, introduction to the laboratory in Inbiosis, you can go through and watch and watch the YouTube. So in the module 2, 3, 4, so they will introduce different focus of what you need to do in the MAGMA. For example, module 3 is about chemicals. Module 4 is about the waste of the chemicals, biological waste or chemical waste, and also autoclave operation. So I don't go into all in detail, but please go through this induction course. And at the end, there's a quiz. And please do the quiz and prove that you have gone through the induction course. All right. So this is a similar that I just so this was this online induction course was created or made by a team, our pegawai and kaki tangan, lead by Professor Matya, Dr. Aizat, and have won the gold medal during this Care Innovation 2021. So there are also a list of the video that you can go to watch and related to the health and safety in the lab. So this is very important for those there are lack of experience working in the lab physically. So please at least go through and watch this video before you start your work in the lab. It may take a few hours for you to go through the induction course and the video, but these few hours is really crucial and important for your health and safety, and also for us, and also for all your friends around you when you're doing your experiment. So please spend this time, and it's not going to a waste. This time is really precious and for you and for your future. So if you go to the guideline, then you see that it will lead you to many items over here. So if you go to the OIC, you click it, then you get the information for those for the induction course, the virtual induction course. So you go in, then you will see this khusus induksi keselamatan MAGMA, right? So I also would like, so you please go to the guideline, and there are very important information inside the guideline. Please go through one by one. And also over here, there's a important Poland, which I think Prof. Saranata I have mentioned also this morning. You can work after the office hour or during the holiday, but you need to fill in the form. Please fill in the form if you would like to work after or off working hour. I have to emphasize this because this is very, very important. And we have our rules and regulation if you are working off working hour, which you need a company, and a company is a user of the Inbiosis as well, not your family members or any friend of you, because it is for your health and safety purposes. Because if you somehow faint in the lab or lost conscious, then who will then know about this, right? or we are far away. If you see our Inbiosis location, we are kind of in the middle of the jungle. So we must take care of ourselves. Hence, there are rules and regulation, and we must know who are actually working out of working hour in Inbiosis. So you cannot just simply come and work after working hour and without everyone know, because if anything happen, no one will know. And also, the procedure is, even though we have security, university security come and check every couple of hour or off office during the off office time, still we need to provide information for them to know that actually we are having user in our building. So you must don't take it lightly about this, yeah. Please follow the rules and fill in and plan your experiment. If you know that you are going to stay in the weekend, please fill in the form as soon as possible and inform the PIC of the lab person in charge in the lab. I I really hope these rules is strictly followed by everyone, yeah. And when you leave the lab, please, as I say, log out, and also please make sure the lab is in good condition. Please check all the equipments carefully, particularly for the last person who leave the lab. You must check, especially those freezer, are they in normal conditions? The switch already off for instrument that need to off, but don't switch off the freezer like -80 or -20, because those are 24 hours on. So please make sure you are aware of this. If you accidentally switch off -80 or -20, many of us will cry because their sample are in the freezer. So this must be taken very seriously. Yeah? So those are inexperienced. Please get the senior to accompany so that nothing wrong will happen. I hope this will help you. So this is a form that you may want to. Oh, so you need to fill in when after you work for working after the working hour. So there are many other details. So you may need to refer to from the OIC you learn about, but something to emphasize here, for any chemical that you are first time using it, you please read the MSDS. And don't simply use the chemical without reading the MSDS or without knowing the chemicals, because you don't know whether this chemical can mix with water or not. You don't know whether how to handle the chemical. If you handle it wrongly, it may have a explosive effect or things like this, or where to use the chemicals, where to open in the frame hood or things like this. So please read and know the chemical that you're going to use, and you must label the chemicals. So this is very common in the lab. Even though it's common sense, but sometimes you see a bottle with a solution in and there's no label. Please practice this good laboratory practice, where whatever that you prepare and you use, please label what it is when you prepare it and your name, so people know who this chemical belong to who. And for the lab equipments, if you would like to book equipments and things, please also write your name. Also for equipments that you don't know how to use, please refer. Don't simply use equipment by guessing. You are not going to be the first one using this equipment because many of your senior is using it. And if you are not confident, just ask, okay? Just ask the PIC in the lab or the senior who are experienced of using the equipments. This is very, very important because a small mistake may cause accident to you, and it may also cause tens of thousands of maintenance or repairing fees that we have to fork out to repair the instruments. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. There's no shame to ask. Yeah, in Inbiosis, we are all very helpful. I think the PIC is extremely helpful. The senior also very kind, and all the senior students, they are very kind and generous. Please ask if you are not sure about how to use the machine, or double check with them, are you using it correctly? So please do this practice. Yeah, we all start from knowing nothing, and we learn and we learn and we keep learning. All right. Right. So there are also a procedure for pelupusan waste. So you may want to know what kind of waste and how to put. And for incidents or any things broken, you found broken, or you have either you yourself have done something wrong and have broken the machine or broken some things, or someone else, and when you use, then you found out it's broken, then please inform immediately to the person in charge of the laboratory. This is very important. And we are having a form that you can fill in, and there are two forms over here that either your complaint or whatever you found wrong, you want to notice us, please fill in the form. And we encourage to save the energy, save the work, save the growth, save the world by saving the energy. So please remember to switch off the light after you use, especially the last person. And also in the air conditioning, in the foyer, and in the lab. So if not necessary, please switch it off. Also the water. Don't waste the water, electricity. And make sure the lab is closed. Yeah. This is also very important for new students. As I mentioned, we are somehow kind of in the middle of jungle. So we have friends around us. And what I mean over here that sometimes monkey will visit our compound. So please get the door in the lab always closed, yeah, because we don't want to have animal to get into the lab also. And very importantly, we would like to have, as you know, we are having shared facilities. We have centralized system. All the student can access any facilities in Inbiosis. And hence, we encourage everyone knowing each other, respect each other, and do things responsibly to whatever that we are doing, so that hopefully everyone can do and can use the facilities without any problem. And we are in a friendly environment. That would help us to graduate on time, like what Dr. Go emphasized. And we would like all of you to graduate within 2 or 3 years, not more than 4 years, like Prof. I have mentioned. Even though we like our students and the student like the Inbiosis, but yes, please finish your studies uh, as soon as possible, uh, not more than 4 years, hopefully. So another important message for you is every instrument having a logbook. If you go to the lab data for senior, I'm sure you're aware what is logbook and where is the logbook. And for the new students, so all the instrument having one logbook, and the logbook will need to be recorded when you are using the machine. So please put your name, the date, and the time that you use it, and a remarks about the status of the instruments. If it's broken or something not right, you have to put a remarks and inform the PIC. If it's okay, then you just write down it's okay, everything run well. So you must put this because this is again very important, not only for us to know who have used the machine, and to record your name is not for us to catch you actually. uh, don't get this thing wrong, yeah. I Because this practice has been long, that it's not very successful, because when we go to look at a logbook, even though we know the machine is very popular, but very few user. So this doesn't really match to the facts that the machine is a popular one, where frequently used by our students or our users. So I again emphasize everyone, the current student, the senior, the new students, you must record your the usage of the instrument every time when you use. As the information is important for us to justify this machine is actually having a lot of user. If we need support to repair the machine, this is the justification. Otherwise, it will be in the uh, less priority machine. Means that when it's broken, there's no money or there's less money, these machines are not going to be a priority, because there's a limited finance or money available sometime to fix machine. So if you think this machine, you're always using it, you want it to be always functioning. So please put your record into it to show that this machine actually is important to you. I hope this is clear. It's clear to everyone?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Um, so about the waste or chemical. So you must remember to inform uh, the PIC. There are chemicals that perhaps uh, buy by your particular research group, or there are also chemical which is common use. So you must let the PIC know if the things are finishings. So we need to have a good practice. You don't want to be a next person and use a chemical and found out it's finished. And if you want to put an order, then you take another couple of months, and that will jeopardize your experiment. So if you think of yourself and everyone, so please practice this. Whenever the chemical is finishing, not finished, yeah, finishing, please inform PIC and for the ordering, because it take time really to get the chemical back here. And again, I emphasize, you must know your chemical when you are using, whether it's toxic, whether it's explosive, and things. So you must know before you use, okay? All right, I think those are labeling the bottle that you use or your sample. I think those are already mentioned. Waste, your chemical waste, biological waste, or sharp or grasses. So there are procedure. If you are not clear, please ask. Okay, I don't go to every single detail of it. So there are just lists of different category of chemicals. So please ask if you are not clear at the first time, especially new student, where and how to deal with this chemical waste. Just for your information, there are various types of chemicals and very common in genomics lab, maybe ethidium bromide and things like this. So they have different status of hazardous level. So please make sure you are clear before you deal with it. And the sharp grass must throw in this yellow bin for the sharp waste. Okay. And bacteria and fungus or any biological waste cannot just throw it away simply. Yeah, you must autoclave it and decorn it before you can throw away. And also, it has dedicated places for dealing with this kind of waste. Okay. For the autoclave, so we also having a central system for autoclave. So there's a timetable for autoclave for either for your chemical for sterilization or for the waste that you want to autoclave. So please get the info and plan your experiment well according to the time of the autoclave. So I have mentioned about this incident reporting. So just to show you, there's a Google form that you can fill in if anything found fault or broken. So you just report over here, or then you can also file a complaint in the effects. So please, having a good practice, again, I emphasize, keep the bench clean, the lab clean, not simply throw away things. And all this actually is a real photo. This is not a mock. We didn't simply put that and then we take a photo. No, there are many incidents and we keep seeing it. It means that users are not really emphasized on taking care or concern of this. But for us, we really is a concern because you would like to have this good practice and you want to have developed all this good practice as you are going to be a professional, right? You're having a master and PhD. So this is to show that you have been educated to do experiment well and also can manage things well, and as simple as managing the waste or managing the things that you are using. So you must have this good practice and remind yourself. So if you don't have it now, I hope you can start develop it tomorrow, and it will be with you in entire of your life. So please take this opportunity and have this good practice, and you gain the respect from the people. So don't simply do things and leave it, and because we don't know who's one, and when the time pass, no one will claim. and there are incidents here and there like this. So the bottle can be anywhere else, or the cylinder, measure cylinder, and then the coming user couldn't find the tools for their experiment. So please do things where you take the tools and put it back and clean your working place after. And switch off when after you use, but remember not the 24-hour socket like freezer and things. So as I have mentioned. So this thing happened, and just to show, to let you know that we must avoid this, not try, we must avoid unnecessary accident. It is not only danger to you, also to other users, and also to the entire institute. So please take care when I'm using. This is a centrifuge, yeah? So the rotor is actually broken and butchered into small pieces. And you see this incubator shaker. You can see different patterns of how our user using it, but make sure it's clean and it's safe. And also you see the extension that got burned. So you must observe if anything happened. So please take the lab as your home after, because you are going to spend a lot of time in the lab. So we would like to have conducive and safe environment to work with. So this is other example. Right. And one thing I want to emphasize here, again and again, every taklimat I will emphasize the -20, -80. After you have opened, make sure you close the door properly. Not just close, but close the door properly. Otherwise, if you don't close it properly, the door will open when there's no one else, especially Friday evening. Then it will open for the weekend. And the sample will thaw over the weekend. And on Monday, all the user of the freezer will cry because their sample is gone. So this is, I 10 times emphasize, because it has happened where the door was not closed properly. And one of our students, especially the sample at the outer part, has tore, and she had lost the sample. So please make sure -20, -80, -40, whatever the freezer that you use, you must remind yourself that you close it properly. Make sure. In proteomics lab, there's a lock here. So other lab, you make sure that it's aligned. There's a hole here. So I emphasize seriously for this issue, because we don't want this incident to happen again. And to share with you, every year we spend a lot of money to maintain our facilities in entire Inbiosis. So for equipments that need to be maintained or calibrate within certain period, we always do it. So the equipment that you use always calibrated and always in good function. And we spent last year 155,000, more than 155,000 for maintenance or repairing all the equipments in Inbiosis. It's a lot of money. So if you can reduce, we can take care of our machine properly, then we can reduce the cost as well. For the electricity, that's why I just now mentioned we need to save the electricity. Yeah, we spend 150K, 50,000 for a year electricity bill for Inbiosis. So, and make use of the lab, because the user, whether it's 2 user or 5 user or 10 user in the lab is open and the light is on, and we are paying the fees for electricity. And please make use of the lab and get your experiment done, address important biological questions for your research, so that all this money that spent can generate the output that having an impact to the society or to the taxpayer money. So we keep repairing the machines. Also, we also buying or getting new facilities from time to time. And I think the latest would be this benchtop refrigerated centrifuge, which came end of last year. So we hope to have more to come. And most of the equipments now have repair. I hope that now the lab is in a very good conditions, that you will also able to progress well for your experiment. So just to show that we keep improving our lab, but must avoid accident, especially main fault accident. Yeah. So please remind ourselves, and please be careful when you are using facilities in the lab. If you are not clear about, as I say, what is the answer? If you don't know how to, not clear about the machine or instrument, what are you going to do? Anyone can answer me? Hello?
Ask the officer.
Yes. Who's Hi, Dr. Kalina. I thought one of our students will answer.
Student, answer. Liana answer. Ask the PIC.
Yes, please ask the PIC or any senior who are experienced of using it, okay? You can also ask fellow, you can ask me as well, no problem. You can ask anyone that can help you, or they are experienced in using it, okay? We're having very friendly environment over here in Inbiosis for doing research. So incident or accident happened. So please do our best to avoid anything that can happen to us. Okay, prevention is always better. All right, as I mentioned, we also have set up this tindakan tata tertib keselamatan dan kesihatan pekerjaan makmal Inbiosis. We call TTKKP. So in this Kalis Panduan, we would like to investigate if there are any wrongdoing when during the user using the facilities in the lab. So please follow and read properly the rules and regulation, and don't make those unnecessary mistake. Of course, mistake may made, but then you just admit, because we are not catching people in a way that to punish people. No, we don't have this concept. So we are center for educations. So we would like to educate our user. If you have make anything wrong, you just admit, and at least we know how it happened, and because we would like to learn from the mistake. If there's no one, if something have done wrong, but or instrument is broken, but no one actually mentioned anything, we don't know how the machine, how it was broken, and so we couldn't learn even though after we repaired, right? And it may happen again. So we would like to learn so that we can also avoid of the user either making mistake or anything. Sometimes you on your hand is broken, doesn't mean you make the mistake. So you just have to share the information so that we also learn. It's just that when things happen, there's no one touching it, or no one have it seems like no one have touched the instrument or things like this, but it broken by itself. So I think that is hard to be accept. Hence, we would like to investigate for those incident, for example. And with this Kalis Pantuan, so we're having a proper um, SOP on investigating. So please, if you found anything wrong or you have done wrong, please just inform, because we really would like to learn and to make sure that incoming user will have less chances maybe to make mistake, or maybe or anything that we can learn from the lesson. Is that okay, everyone? Hello? Anyone with me? Liana? Adila?
Yes, doctor.
Akil, thank you.
They answer in the chat, Dr. Leong.
Right. Thank you. So please, yeah, please help us, and you yourself may want also to learn this, right? Why I'm saying this? Because you're going to graduate with your degree, your master and PhD. You are going to involve yourself in a research center, in university, in a factory, or in industry, that they also having rules and regulation. You may be one of them in the future to in charge of their facilities. So we are learning together in this platform. That's why we encourage the students, whatever they have done, please just report. We are not going to ask you to pay and to fix, right? But we want to know the cost. Okay? Please help us, and also you yourself can learn. Right. So for any incident that happened, it may be there is someone that admit, and we can find and then we can discuss the costs. And there's also case that no one admit and we don't know what it happened. Then so there will then having a discussion and also action towards that. So for what have done, then it will have as a procedure here have recorded. So we will follow the procedure for case by case, case per case basis for the investigation. Here's a simple form where if anyone admitted, then they will also write down what have done wrong, and with the signature of the person in charge in the lab, as well as the person who have done the mistake, for example. So for the discussion, it will be handled by Jabatan Kuasa Keselamatan Pekerjaan Inbiosis JKKP, lead by Professor Shalonata. Sorry, I should have updated these slides. All right, I think this is my last slide or last two slides. So Dr. Goh had mentioned, so when you have finished your experiments and you are submitting your notice solar thesis, you may also want to fill in this form, selain semak penamatan kerja penyelidikan, so that to make sure you have cleaned your bench or the chemicals that you have in the lab. So with that, I think I have delivered most of the information that I would like to give to you. And I'd like to thank Professor Madya, Dr. Wan Muhammad Aizat, Puan Farida, Puan Rina, a typo over here, Dr. Low, and all the pegawai and kaki tangan Inbiosis in pengurusan Makmal and also preparation of this slide. So I welcome any questions. Thank you for your time with me.
Just to clarify, Dr. Ng, it's not
Yeah.
selepas menghantar, it's semasa menghantar.
Semasa, I say selepas, yeah. Together with the time, together with the
This form needs to be
Salah
submitted
notice.
together.
Yeah, yeah. Anyone? Any questions?
Doctor,
Yes.
regarding the taklimat on keselamatan, where will
Yes.
be, is it online or we do it physically in Dewan seminar?
Physical, Dewan seminar,
Right.
like last semester.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Anyone? So I hope I didn't scare you to get into the lab, but just provide you the information that laboratory is a place with a lot of exciting instruments and chemicals, and that's why we need to be extra careful dealing with them. Okay. Any question? New students? Hello? Or in the chat? Ada? Question in the chat ada? Okay, maybe I ask. Can I ask questions then?
Can, Dr. Leong?
Yes. So I will maybe pick up. May ask Faris. Is it Faris?
Okay,
So when
calling
you
Faris.
Faris. So what you need to do when you are preparing a chemical using a bottle. Hi Faris. What you normally do when you preparing a chemical? Let's say in this using a 500 ml bottle. What is other?
Ada.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi Faris.
Hello, dengar ke?
Dengar? Apa Faris akan buat kalau Faris telah prepare satu portal chemical?
Okay, label, and then read dia punya, maksudnya label, saya dah prepare a chemical in a bottle tak?
Ya, betul.
So the most important thing adalah saya kena label nama chemical tersebut, concentration dia, and also tarikh dan nama saya. And then kena letakkan kat tempat yang selamat, dan juga kena understand lah the MSDS of the chemical tu macam mana, dia punya harmful ke ataupun irritant ke, whether dia kena balut dengan aluminium foil ke ataupun kena simpan dekat tempat yang tak ada cahaya ke macam mana. Tapi the most important part I think kena label lah. That's the most important thing, sebab most of the chemical sebenarnya tak ada colour pun, and then kalau tak letak nama and tak tahu sama ada nak lupus, tak tahu macam mana, nak tahu nak cari siapa yang buat pun kita tak tahu.
Betul. Syabas, Faris.
Thank you, Doktor.
Saya bagi 100 beratus. Well done. So, saya nak tanya satu soalan lagi kepada Azlina. Azlina, kalau Azlina buat STS page tak? Azlina ada. Hello,
Yes,
Azlina
Doktor.
ada?
Hello. Ya,
Azlina ada buat STS page tak?
STS page. Tak guna. I never.
Oh, atau Azlina pakai centrifuge tak?
Centrifuge, yes.
Ya. So, saya nak tanya Azlina, kalau Azlina nak pakai centrifuge, apa prosedur yang Azlina perlu buat? Seperti yang saya telah kongsi, contohnya,
Saya perlu isi buku log for the instrument.
untuk mencatat
Untuk mencatat nama, masa dan duration in which I have used or I intend to use.
dan
Dan
status atau kondisi
Oh,
sama ada
ya.
instrumen itu
okay or not, yes.
functioning well or not, right?
Yes.
Contohnya. Alright. So, kalau ada soalan tak belajar? Kalau tak ada, saya tanya satu soalan lagi. Siapa yang
Dr. Leong,
ada
saya
buat?
tanya boleh?
Boleh.
Dr. Leong, regarding the lab code, so for the new students, so if they don't have the lab code, so they need to purchase by themselves or they can purchase with Inbiosis ke tak ada?
In Inbiosis, we do have a common lab code that student can try whether there's a science that fit them lah. So we do have a lab code around, but sometimes the science may not fit well, and the student may want to get themselves the lab code that fit them well. Am I answer your question?
Yes, Dr. Leong.
And also, for the lab code, we also wash it from time to time. Tiada soalan lagi? So I think it's 3:28. So one last question I ask, yeah? Maybe I ask a Muhammad Arif. Sorry, yeah, 1 second. Yes, Muhammad Arif. A question, if you after open a -80 in proteomics lab, for example, what you need to do?
After I open,
After you have opened, yes, you take your sample, then
I need to close it properly to make sure there's no leaking.
so you have to make sure that it's aligned, yeah, because always
Yeah.
there's a hole there, right?
Make sure all of the, I mean, that what we call that. I mean I don't I don't sure what we call that, but all need to be aligned to make it properly close.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the answer. So I think that's all from me today. If you don't have further question, but you are always welcome to ask. Drop an email or come to the office. So we will always ready to help you and to advise you. Thank you. Thank you for your time. So I pass back to you, Dr. Khalida.
Thank you very much, Dr. Leong, for the briefing regarding the safety of the lab in the Inbiosis. So basically, for the new student or even the new intern and RA, please do not forget to attend the face-to-face taklimat that will be held on next week. Is it, Dr. Leong?
Yeah.
The
12 of
12th,
April.
yeah, 12 April on, next Wednesday in the bilik seminar. Sorry, in the day one seminar, okay, and also in the lab. All the new student is compulsory to attend. I think
Wait,
our,
one.
alright,
Just sorry, Dr. Khalida.
uh-uh,
All the
okay.
students need to attend for the morning section.
All right. So in the morning session,
All the
everyone,
students. Yeah, everyone.
all the students should attend. So I will send the announcement to the student WhatsApp group. But in the afternoon session, is it only for the new student, Dr. Leong?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think this is the end of the today's session for the taklimat for the new student and also the existing student. But before we end this session, can we take the photo again? Because last time I think I only take the first page, not the other pages. So everyone, can you show your handsome and beautiful